the case of Menod or Malacha? Meaning, if someone's family does one and Malacha is
No, you should do what your family normally does. But again, if you're a minhag hamokum, you're invited to a certain location, then of course you should do as they do. If he offers your own kiddush is one thing, but if he makes kiddush, you don't sit when he stands. Okay, so you stand. Depends on what the situation is. Depends what kind of kiddush he says. Many different things. Okay, we left off 860. We'll start from the second paragraph. He said a person could demonstrate his love on three levels: by expending, giving of his assets, giving of his physicality, meaning inconveniencing himself, putting himself out, or even giving his life. As Avram Avinu was the ultimate; he gave the life of his son. That a person is willing to give his life, that's the ultimate level of display of love for Hashem. At this level, this is not something which has relevance to most people, or to all people. It's beyond human nature. Because the natural nature is contrary and opposed to that. There's rasa osam. It's only as a result of the ometz habore. He says, because the Creator strengthens and helps. Ometz is more than strengthening. It gives him it's more than confidence. It's like vigor. And this assistance, mikvor hayetzer aleim, gemult hashtadlusam ba'avodoso, he assists them to take the initiative in his service with Yubam, mitzvahs Torahs benefesh demono, to fulfill the mitzvahs and his Torah with a faithful spirit, v'lev of sholem umatz ben zach, v'neviah lokim b'chiro v'skuloso, like the Nevi'im of Hashem and those who were chosen. A person to be dedicated to a level that he's willing to suffer and sacrifice continuously, it's not a simple thing. It's not simple. You need special siyata d'shmaya for this. Like people say, what does God want from me? No, what does he want? I should give it all away? That's what he wants. You can't. So only the person who merits that special siyata d'shmaya, who has that purity, only he understands why that's the ultimate value. Give of your assets, put yourself out. But again, even that's not simple. We said earlier, that's only the person who abstain from material, right? All the other things. Even then, when you've done it all, even that's not so simple. You need a special siyata d'shmaya. It's interesting, some environment is so crucial. What was, at one time, many things were easier than today, in terms of what was considered necessary, unnecessary. At one time, I remember I was in yeshiva many years ago, and there was times I did not leave the building for 2 months. I mean, I just walked out like in the courtyard. But to go to a store, and I was okay with it. I was totally in that environment. It's unheard of. It's like you're in prison. I was so focused and so involved, it was totally irrelevant. What existed outside of the yeshiva, store, whatever it is, had to get something to show somebody. I asked somebody else to do it for me. Didn't want to be distracted. But how? Don't you have to get out once in a while? I didn't feel the need to get out. So what is it? You know, it's abnormal. Okay? Today, there's no way I could do it. Impossible. It's a whole different environment. In the 60s, what was the world in the 60s in terms of affluence and people's material needs? It wasn't the same as today. You know, at one time there were certain things available to society, only you were from a certain echelon of society. Only a person of a certain echelon had certain things, drove a certain car, wore certain clothing, had a certain kind of jewelry. Ordinary people didn't, and they had no interest in it. You know, they didn't. You know, there was a worth ethic. You supported your family. You were able to clothe them, this and that. That was sufficient. People weren't shooting for the stars in those days. They weren't. And as a result of that, life was much more simple and less complicated. In those days, you know, the psychologists weren't overburdened. They weren't. And the psychiatrists and the pharmaceutical companies. Stock wasn't that high. Today, it's gone through the roof. Because without the medication, people couldn't function today. Everybody has issues. Unbalanced, chemical. One time people didn't have chemical. Of course there were. People didn't know. But as prevalent as today, definitely not. To be continued. Wait, no. Yeah. Umashe mora ki hashnei panom eilo roya la'avo hashlim belokim. He says, and what indicates that even these two levels is an indication of avo for Hashem. Mash omer asoton, hachinom yori Eov Elokim. Is it for nothing that Eov fears Hashem? Halo ato sachto bado, ubad beso, bad kol asher lo soviv. You've protected him and his family and all that's around him. You know, Eov was a tzaddik. So what does something go to Hashem? He says, you know, he's a tzaddik. Of course. You sing God's praises when everything's perfect. Let's see you pull the rug from under him. Let's see if he'll sing your praises. That's what Satan said to Hashem. Right? This was it's similar to what Satan said to Hashem regarding the Akedah. Sure, Avraham is such a tzaddik. Let's see. Right? Let's see if you ask him to sacrifice his son. Let's see how dedicated he is to you. That's Achrei Advarim Eiler. So Rashi wanted an interpretation. After the words of the Satan to Hashem, Hashem says to Avram, take your son, bring him up as a sacrifice. So Satan said the same thing with Eov. Hachinom Yori Eov Elokim. Do you think it's for nothing? He fears you. He reveres you. You've protected him, his family, his household, and all that it's associated with him. Allow your hand to come upon him. Touch him in a way and see, in that context, will he bless you? Remove from him. Mechiro. Lokach mechiro. I don't know what mechiro means. Kavod olam hono. His honor in the world and his wealth. Ach pasik mimenu mashachananto matolas olam. Cease the flow of what you were gracious to him from all the benefits of the world. See if he'll stay steadfast with you. That'll prove that his love is faithful to you. So the Bori says to the Satan, I will do whatever you're asking of me. He says to the Satan, we'll try it out. And do whatever you regarding his wealth and his children. V'lo midigleu v'lo ministor le'elokim. His children were taken, his wealth was taken, everything was taken. He did not change, not on the outside or on the inside, regarding his relationship with Hashem. V'omad ba'avoso hanemono le'elokim. And he was able to retain his level of love, faithful to Hashem, ka'omro. Orom yotzosi mi betin imi. Hear what he says. He says, when all the tzaras came upon him, he says, I left my mother's womb naked, v'orom oshuv shama, and I will go back with nothing. I'll go to the grave with nothing. As I came with nothing, I will go back with nothing. Hashem nosel, Hashem lokach. These are the words of Eov. Hashem gives, Hashem takes. Yishem Hashem mevorach. Name of Hashem should be blessed. There's a level.
But throughout the interaction, he did wait. I mean, it seems like he wasn't 100% truthful because his friends came in and they tried to argue. So, like, how do we explain that?
Not learning Eov now. But that's what Eov said. It's interesting. You know, God only tests those who can be tested. A test is only a test if you're able to withstand the test. So let's say a person's faith is not that strong. Is Hashem going to test him? That he should become chas v'sholem, a heretic? It's only to the degree that you're able to withstand. Right? Otherwise, what kind of test is it? You want to test a person's strength and you put 1,000 pounds on his back. What are you doing? You're testing strength, you're crushing him. It's a level, it's beyond his capacity. Eov, because Hashem knew it was within his ability to withstand the test, therefore it was a test. Avram Avinu, like I always say, Avram had 10 tests. The test of the Akedah. Could have that been the first test? Couldn't have been the first test. It was only through the development that each test that he withstood and he saw that Hashem was behind him, he was ready for the next descent. But to go immediately to that level, Avram himself wasn't ready. Everything's always based on the level that you're at. At that level, now you're ready for this. You're more advanced. What?
Doesn't mean that you will.
Doesn't mean it's a test, but a person that definitely has within his ability, he can. But even though chutz miyur shamayim, that's only because God gives you the ability that if you choose to succeed, you could succeed. But as much as you choose to succeed, you can't succeed, then God is destroying you. He's not testing you. So Eov, because he was such an exceptional tzaddik, and God knew the truth, therefore he gave him that test. And same for Avram Avinu. He only tested Avram, bring your son. Of course, he could have said no. But because he had the ability, he was a Levi, he could have said definitely, which he did. Vayashkim Avram Baboka, he withstood the test. To be continued. By Eov, he gave carte blanche. Right. By Avram, he gave him also carte blanche. Right? I mean, he did. I mean, the son came with the claim. Yeah. There's a Medrash and there's a Ramban that, look, God knows what the tzaddik will succeed, not succeed. It's really the two approaches. Either it's for the world, that the world should understand what the tzaddik is, that he is the role model for what it is. They'll say, sure, he's that because. So to show the world what a tzaddik is, God puts it in a context, despite everything, this is the level of dedication a person should be at. And that's why he's special. A person has to understand he's special not because he's a tzaddik where everything's going his way, but he's a tzaddik despite everything's not going his way. He's still the same tzaddik. That's explicit in the Medrash. The Ramban says, because since we were in the world of Asiyah, this world is the world of actualizing. It's a do world. So everything has to manifest itself in that context. It's not in theory, in potential, it's in actually bringing it to fruition.